A great smash burger is all about balance. Crispy edged patties with a juicy center, thin sliced cheese that's been melted just enough to hold it all together, and a few simple toppings, all tucked inside a fluffy, toasted potato bun. It's important that you start with a really high quality ground beef. Just for fun, you don't have to do this. I'm gonna grind the beef by myself. Honestly, I also just think it always looks really nice on camera. You've probably heard the term 80-20 ground beef. That means 80% lean beef and then 20% fat. And most people say that gives that perfect balance between flavor and texture. So as you can see, in between every few bits of beef that I put in, I'm putting in a little bit of fat. And as it falls out, you can see those little layers of fat coming through in between all of that lean beef. So really, I didn't have to grind up my own meat for these burgers, but I'm partly doing it just to show you visually what 80-20 really means. Now we can just pretend that you didn't grind the beef yourself and we both have some ground beef in front of us. Grab up just enough of it. I like to wear a pair of gloves so the fat doesn't start melting. And then shape a ball that's somewhere in between the size of a golf ball and a mandarin orange. Once you feel like you have something close to that, you can begin to throw it between your hands. What that's gonna do is get out all those air bubbles so that when we smash, it doesn't all break apart. As you can see here, it's already getting a bit shiny, which means a lot of that fat is starting to melt. So I'm gonna place this down on a sheet and then just ball up the rest of my burger patties. Aside from the fact that I think they're delicious, they just melt in your mouth almost like a piece of chocolate. I prefer smash burgers over any other type of burger because I've never been a fan of those super thick patties. And there's something just so incredibly good about the simplicity of a smash burger. I think one of the other things that I love is that if you can get those simple basic ingredients, a smash burger is really all about the technique and the execution. I actually learned this technique, throwing the patties back and forth in your hand like this, from the owner of a burger shop in the middle of nowhere in Japan. But the meat there, because it was Japanese Wagyu, was so fatty that we had to wear a couple pairs of gloves just for it not to immediately melt in our hands. Once we finish up that last ball, we can go ahead and toss this in the fridge while we prep the rest of our ingredients. While that's in the refrigerator, it's time for the special sauce. My special sauce starts out quite simple. Because I need pickles for both the finished burgers as well as the special sauce, I'll start by chopping those, but I slice my pickles super thin. I don't like the thicker pickle slices that they usually put on a burger. We're making smash burgers and those are already really thin, so why not put some thin pickle slices on there? Now with the rest of that pickle, I'm gonna mince it nice and fine, almost into sort of a fine relish. This will be what gives me some acidity in my sauce. You don't have to chop it up this fine if you don't want, but I like to put my sauces into squeeze bottles just because it makes assembling the burger a little easier and a little more fun. That can go into our bowl. Next, I'll go in with a bit of mayonnaise, then a little bit of honey. There's some honey in Chick-fil-A sauce, so that's why I started putting honey in my special sauce. Adds a tiny bit of sweetness to balance out the lemon and the pickles. A bit of Dijon mustard. Use whatever kind of mustard you like here, but I like a nice smooth Dijon. A little bit of ketchup, which will give our special sauce some nice color. A sprinkle of smoked paprika, a little bit of onion powder, garlic powder, a sprinkle of salt, fresh cracked pepper, and to finish, a nice squeeze of lemon. Optionally, you can use pickle juice, but I just love the flavor of lemon. And that, I promise, is gonna be one of the best special sauces you ever taste. Now I'm gonna preheat my cast iron pans. This is where you can use different types of pans. Ideally, it's a cast iron. That'll give a heavier, more even surface to cook your smash patties, but you can make it work with a lot of different types of pans. Before we start cooking our actual burger patties, I'm gonna put my buns down. Toasting them the way I'm about to toast them is an added touch that is a total game changer. I use the same type of buns every single time because I just feel like they're so incredibly soft and fluffy. I learned this toasting technique from my favorite burger place in New York City. What this will do, we'll steam the inside of the top bun and the top side of the bottom bun, all while our patties are cooking. Once your buns are working in the background, it's important to prep everything that you're gonna need. I'm gonna make a triple stack burger. So triple stack means we need 3 pieces of cheese. I like to use that classic cheap American cheese and then a little bit of cheddar cheese for a bit of sharpness to just give the burger a little bit more balance. So these are all prepped and ready to go. We need salt and pepper at the ready. Before you start cooking, it can sometimes be good to add a bit of oil, the same way you want to oil your grill before you cook so it doesn't stick. I'll quickly oil the bottom of my burger smasher. Patty goes down. I'll give it a nice full smash. Same thing with the other 2 patties. Hard smash, kind of pushing around the edges of the smasher as you smash it. And then the last one. See how I push from the top down and roll around with the smasher as I go? And note how much smoke there is, by the way. If you have sensitive fire alarms at home, this might be a recipe that you skip. Now, very quickly, a bit of pepper on all 3, then a nice sprinkle of salt on all of them. And just like that, we're already ready to flip. You want to keep that nice laced pattern on the bottom of your smash burger. So make sure to really scrape all the way through. Get all those nice craggly pieces and then flip. That is a perfect smash burger. And then cheese right away. Oh my God, it's beautiful. That golden brown is all flavor. Working as quickly as possible. Flip. Oh my gosh. I'll use a different type of cheese. Scrape, try not to lose any of those little laced, crispy bits. You can't be afraid of the heat when you're making a smash burger. Oh my gosh, they look so good. These patties are already done. Just when that cheese melts and holds everything together like a glue, I'll grab my burger bun. You'll notice if I open it up, there's some steam that comes right out of there. I'll take this patty, place it on top of our other patty. Same thing, stack it up. And then one last scoop, drip off all that extra oil over here carefully into our buns. Now to finish, super simple. A few of those nice thin pickles, a nice swirl of our special sauce, a good swirl of our mustard, and to finish, a bit of classic ketchup. And with these, you'll want to dive in just about right away because that gooey, melty cheesiness and everything working together in there isn't going to last for long. What makes this here a trademark smash burger are those crispy, laced edges on the side.